I told you. I told you. I told you that the ratings on Friday peaked. The ratings on Friday for Unrivaled peaked. The opener, the excitement, all that stuff would be on Friday and it would peak. And if they didn't put out a product that people thought was worth watching, that people would stop watching rather quickly. And you hear that? Do you hear that? That's right, you don't hear that. That's a tree being chopped down in the woods, but no one hears it because no one, I'm sorry, it falls down in the woods, but no one hears it because no one's there. And that is what was watching Unrivaled on Saturday and Sunday. They all left. No one heard a sound. No one heard a sound, and I'm going to break it all down for you right now. Welcome back, everyone, to another edition of Rudy's Rant, powered by Come On Now, the podcast where we talk facts over feelings. I'm your host, Rudy Rodriguez Showmont. Thank you so much for your continued support of this channel. Be sure to like, subscribe, follow. If you're new, give us a subscribe, hit that subscribe button, ring that bell. It costs you nothing, you know, and you'll see our videos and you'll enjoy our content. I'm pretty sure of it. Leave a comment. I want to know what you think. So Friday, they released the ratings for Friday's games of Unrivaled, the opener, and I had some comments about that. And I'm going to refresh your memory on what I said before I jump into the actual ratings, which you probably have seen by now. But you know how I do. I have to let you know my thoughts on the whole situation. But I'm going to play for you what I did on. I think I posted this yesterday. If it wasn't yesterday, it was 2 days ago. But definitely it was in the last 2 days. I'm pretty sure it was yesterday. But let's take a listen right here. I don't have to see a big face of myself. I could just make it like this. Man, double dose of Rudy. What a day. I don't know how many people watched it, what the ratings are yet. The ratings have been released. Let me see if the ratings have been released yet. Because I'm curious to know Unrivaled basketball ratings. Unrivaled's first TV. Oh, here we go. Let's talk about this. 313,000 viewers opening night. The peak was at 364,000 during the first game, and that was Friday. And then the next game that was with Angel Reese's team, only averaged 311,000, so it went down. Tell you what, man.
It's time to grow your business. Time to get customers.
I don't know. I'm gonna guess that the Saturday afternoon ratings were worse, more than likely. But those TV ratings are not very good. Those TV ratings aren't very good. I mean, if TNT's going to give it away, I guess, but I mean, if people, front office where it says modest ratings, New York Times says Outkick says struggles. Yeah, they're not great. They're mediocre at best. When you compare what the ratings in the WNBA were looking like, and even in the finals, what they looked like, and in the playoffs, what they look like. Yeah, a regular Caitlin Clark game draws over 1.2 million viewers. So this is 25% of what Caitlin Clark draws by herself. So yeah, not impressed. Those ratings are not impressive. Some people who are shills will say that they're great, but that's not impressive. I don't want to say the ratings are tanked, but they're not great because Caitlin Clark on Friday nights was bringing in a million viewers every Friday when she played with the Fever. All that said, yeah, yesterday was really bad. I'm curious to know what the ratings were yesterday more than Friday, because you would think that Friday would be the peak, and then everything after would probably be a drop. So Yeah, and I don't have much to say about it. It was not good to watch. So if you watch, let me know what you think. All right. So you heard what I had to say. If you hadn't seen that video, go check out that video in full. But that's what I said. If it was not yesterday, it was 2 days ago. I'm pretty sure it was yesterday. That's what I said, and I was right. And as I expected, Saturday didn't just wasn't just less, it was embarrassingly less. Like ridiculously less to the point where there's no way in hell. There's no way in hell, people, that there's no way in hell that TNT will continue to fund this if they're looking at numbers like this. 0.11, 113,000 viewers. For the Phantom versus the Laces, this is a game featuring Sabrina Ionescu, Satu Sabali, Brittany Griner, Alyssa Thomas, Kate Martin. Who else? Is Enrique Ogunbowale on this team as well? I think. Who's on the Mist? I'm sorry, the Laces. Who's on the Laces? Who's on the Laces? Tiffany Hayes, Kayla McBride. So not the biggest names, albeit Kate Martin did have the fourth highest selling jersey in the WNBA. So she played in this game. The point being, 113,000 viewers the day after they did a 311 and 313. And I thought 311 and 313 were trash. I want you to understand why I thought that though. Because we have to stop, they have to stop using, a barometer of the beginning of last season and non-Caitlin Clark WNBA games as the measuring stick. They're using a measuring stick that doesn't measure, right? No one cared about the WNBA until Caitlin Clark showed up last year. So no, the games that didn't have Caitlin Clark early on were not going to be watched by anybody. In fact, they weren't. The only games that got viewership last year were Caitlin Clark games. She skewed the data. She is the outlier in a book of outliers. And because of her skewing of data, you don't have real data for the 2024 women's WNBA season. You have Caitlin Clark games, and then you have the rest of them. You have the average of the rest of them. And the average, if I did the calculation, I believe it was like 297, the average for WNBA games, something like that. It was in that 290 range. So the average of the WNBA last year went down in games that Caitlin Clark wasn't playing in comparison to the year before. But when you add Caitlin Clark games in there, the average is skewed way the hell up. And if you just look at Caitlin Clark's games by herself, games that she's in, the number's over 1.2 million people per game. And she had a few 2 point plus 2.5 million, some 2.2s, whatever. She had the best numbers, obviously, by a mile in the WNBA. But the numbers in the WNBA started to increase in the playoffs. So you have to give credit where it's due. Those and while those are the playoffs, you say, well, it's the playoffs. Well, Unrivaled's a new league. It's a new concept. The biggest excitement you're gonna have from this new concept, this new league, this new thing is the beginning. It's not gonna be in the middle of February or or the end of February or even in the playoffs of Unrivaled. It's right now. It's the first weekend. It's the Friday when they open it up. The Saturday I had concerns about because I thought the time slot was a mistake. 2 p.m. and 3 p.m., not the best. I think one of the games was on the internet or on the streaming service. Max. So, but this was on True TV, and this was on regular television. So when you look at it all from all those perspectives, and you look at it from that angle, you have to understand that it's not going to get better. Friday was the peak, and then you saw the product, and the product was utterly horrible. Horrible. I'm being nice. I'm being mean. It was really not that great on Friday. On Saturday, it was awful. And on Monday, it was atrocious. You had really one good, really pretty good game the first game, and then there was one pretty decent game the second day. The rest of the games have been bad. Of the 6 games played this weekend, 4 of the 6 were fucking trash, people. They were trash. And 2 of them were horrendous. Like, I'd rather watch 7-year-olds play basketball. That's how bad it was. And these numbers, I don't even know what my Argentina heart is. I don't even know what channel Hallmark is on my TV. Reels on Patrol Live. What is this? Some fake cops show? This thing drew almost 5 times what this game did. Reels? What is that channel? I didn't even know that channel existed. And I did watch Ben's video. I talked to Ben also. This AEW thing, I'm going to tell you this. This drew 300% more than this. And I love wrestling. Fake wrestling outdrew professional women's basketball. And I'm going to sit here and I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to remind, and I want to remind people. And this is where I think sometimes people and I, people disagree with me and so forth. I mean, lots of people disagree all the time, but whatever. Is when you look at the perspective of AEW, that's like the minor leagues of wrestling. It's not WWE. But the audience that watches AEW is not watching women's basketball. Largely. You're not losing viewers to AEW. In fact, when this game got played, there was nothing on TV at that time. The 4 o'clock or 4:30 game with the Chiefs and the Texans, didn't start till 4:30. This was already over with. The Lions and Commanders Redskins was at 8 o'clock at night, and it did 33.5 million people. But this right here, it competed against nothing. And this was competing against professional football. This right here, UFC prelims on FX, 410,000 plus. It's 4 times this. Duke versus Boston College, men's basketball. I don't even know who plays for Boston College. Cooper Flagg plays for Duke, 890,000 viewers. While going against the NFL. When did that game get played? Before I say that, because I don't know if it went against the NFL or not. And Boston College stinks. That was at 8 o'clock at night. Primetime game. I thought so. 890,000 viewers. This was competing with the NFL. Now, if you go in the NFL, Commanders and Lions, 34.59 million. All of these shows did better than Unrivaled. Saturday Night Live did 1.09 million. I don't even know what the wall is. Shifting gears, no idea. Tracker, no clue. Does R mean rerun? I'm curious. If R means rerun, if anyone knows these ratings better, Saturday Night Live again they did 4.85 at 11:30. If anyone knows these R's, if that means rerun, you're telling me a rerun did better than Unrivaled? I mean, come on. And not just better, but like a lot, like a million times better. So this is Saturday, and your ratings are absolutely flipping horrendous. Horrendous. falling off the cliff, that would be an understatement for how bad this is. This is an utter embarrassment, people. An utter embarrassment. This is the type of shit that TNT says we can't keep doing this. We cannot continue this. And obviously, they're going to run the year, they're going to run the season, but the ratings will not be back at 300,000 at any point during this season of Unrivaled. I promise you. Like, there's no hope. And if I'm wrong, I will come back out here and I will say I was wrong. But what you need to compare is not this against the first game of the WNBA season or the average of the WNBA games last year that didn't have Caitlin Clark. What you got to compare it to is the playoffs. And the playoffs for the WNBA obliterated that 311 and 364 mark. Pretty much every game. The conference finals wasn't even close. I mean, Caitlin Clark's 2 games alone, come on. But the ones that didn't perform were still doing, I think, 500,000 or whatever, which is way better than this. And again, this is new. When it's new, people are excited. They're like, oh my God, I got to see this. I got to tune in. Nah, they didn't. They really didn't. And I think in large part because the marketing of Unrivaled has been horrendous. I think that's not helped them at all. I think the way they have done this whole thing has been a mess. It's been a mess. They should have never expanded to 36 players. They should have been doing videos on Unrivaled literally from November on every day to get you excited. I said it on my video. I think it was yesterday on one of my videos yesterday as well. I think I said it. The viewership on Instagram Reels for Unrivaled with 170,000 followers, subscribers, or whatever. We got just under 1,100 subscribers. What do we have right now? What do we got right now? Let me see. We got 1,068 subscribers. Right? You see that? 1,068. And I got 3 videos that have done over 2 videos that have done over 1 million views. Now, I don't know why this one's showing 904. It's like there's some glitches with Instagram. But that video on the right has done over 1.1 million. The one in the middle is on 1.1 million. The one there is on 545,000. We've got over 4 million views on 1,000 followers. I got 2 videos that have done over 1 million views in Reels with 1,000 followers. They got 170,000 followers and haven't done one singular reel with over 1 million views on Instagram. What does that tell you, people? It tells you that the content that they put out is fucking garbage. What they put out is boring and no one's interested. They have 100,000, 200,000, 300,000. You got 170,000 subscribers, followers. You should be getting at least the amount of followers you got, generally speaking. You should. I mean, we're not perfect by no means, but they're a large organization. My videos do better than Unrivaled's videos do. But then you go into Monday. And people, it wasn't it was marginally better, but not anything that would make you say, "Oh my God, it was still bad." Like, this is just bad. Put on the big one now. I'll do this one with the big one. Where is it? All right. Like, look at this. 1.87 million viewers. 1.2 million. So you had a number, and this was Angel Reese playing up here. No, I'm sorry. No, it wasn't. Angel Reese was playing Saturday. My bad. Angel Reese was playing on Saturday. She wasn't in that game, but I can tell you this, the ratings were probably very much the same. We don't have them. They were probably the same. But in this one, you've got Brianna Stewart here. You've got Alyssa Thomas. If here you got man, why can't I remember in these players? Shit, it's kind of bad. Let's see here. You've got Sabrina Satu, Brittany Griner. Then you've got here the vinyl. Who's on the vinyl? Aaliyah Boston, Ogumbawale, Ryan Howard, De'Erica Hamby. And then you have the Mist, where you have Brianna Stewart, Jewel Lloyd, Rakea Jackson, Dejanay Carrington, Aaliyah Edwards, Courtney Vandersloot. This is what you've got. Your ratings are, you lost from the early game at 8:25. You went from 1.87 to 1.2. You lost 67,000 viewers. That's horrendous. I mean, this number is bad enough. This 187 is atrocious. You know, it's funny. 187 in LA for police is homicide. Unrivaled had a homicide on Monday night. Their league died. Their league died. It is gone. And 1.2 million? I'm sorry, 120,000? That's awful. That's just fucking garbage, people. And what were they doing? What were they against? They were against, let's bring it up for you so I can show it to you. They're against the national championship game in college football. But again, I'm going to point out the obvious. The people who are watching the national championship are not watching Unrivaled. I had my natty on the big and I had the Unrivaled on the small. But people in general are not who are watching this, 21 million viewers nearly, are not watching Unrivaled. These are football fans, man. Hannity has done 6 million and almost 6 million twice. Jesse Waters, 6.7 million. The post-game show, I guess this is the pre-game show, 1.25 million. I don't even know what Balin Out Loud is. Newsnight. I mean, 1 point. And this is American Dad. What is that shit? That did better than fucking Unrivaled. The Kids Baking Championship, with Ben pointed out, 390,000 viewers. Bro, this is atrocious. 1.9, I mean 8.7, and then you got 1.2. Folks, and then you look at the regular TV. It's not close. It's not close. Don't tell me that they're competing. I don't want to hear it. Their demo is different. And that's why I'm sitting here telling you this shit is DOA. Because their demo is not the demo that watches the NFL or the Donald Trump inauguration or the college football national championship. That is not the demographic of Unrivaled. The people who are the demo turned that shit off. It was trash. It wasn't good. The product was bad. And you're going to seriously, you're being mean. No, I'm being real. I would rather watch a WNBA game featuring the Washington Mystics against the Los Angeles Sparks, two of the worst teams in the WNBA last year, over any one of these Unrivaled games. That's how bad this shit has been this weekend. Outside of the Lunar Owls and the Mist in the first game, nothing has been good. Yeah, they had one of the end that was decent, above board. It was, you could survive it. I'd rather watch the Sparks and the Mystics than watch this. It's not good. It's that simple. This shit's DOA, man. And TNT, How can they? There's no justification unless they sign some lengthy contract that they're stuck in. And we all know contracts can be broken. If you're an investor in this and you're seeing 100,000 to 200,000 viewers, that is not sustainable. That is not sustainable. And if you go back to Friday on the first night, people will say, "Oh, they competed against who was it? Friday was the 17th. My mistake. They competed against wrestling." No, they didn't. No, they didn't. They didn't compete against wrestling. SmackDown has a demographic that's not watching Unrivaled. RuPaul's Drag Race got more viewership. I mean, if you want to be completely honest, this one says 280, so and 290. So that 311 and 313 might not be real because this one says 280 and 290. Untucked, whatever that is, 311. The only thing it did better than was Disney. Wizards Beyond Waverly Place. Oh, and I mean, is that correct? Yeah. And Henry Danger, the movie on Nickelodeon. This is tremendous garbage. And again, WWE SmackDown's viewers are not watching Unrivaled. I'm telling you this right now. Besides Ben and myself, the typical viewer of Unrivaled is not watching SmackDown. So we have to stop this. Well, they're competing with wrestling. No, they're not. No, they're not. No, they're not. Like, none of these things did worse. Nothing on Friday night. It's DOA, people. It is absolute DOA. It is unless some miracle happens, this shit will not be better. I mean, if they break 200,000 viewers again, I'd be absolutely flabbergasted. If TNT does not spend, well, today's already Thursday. They play tomorrow. I was going to say, if TNT put a full-blown onslaught in marketing Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, pushing this everywhere, then maybe, but they're not. They're not. What advertiser wants to pay millions of dollars for ad space on a national program that's getting 100,000 viewers, 150,000 viewers? Nobody wants to pay for that shit. They're not going to do it. So at the end of the day, this is the reality. This shit is DOA. I said it was. Their viewership went off the cliff and it crashed into the rocks. It's done. And I'll still watch because I got to be able to talk about it. Will I watch every one of them? Nah, I don't have the time. I have a life. But man, oh man, these ratings are horrible. Horrible. 311 was bad or 290 or whatever it was bad. This is a disaster. A disaster. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. I love to hear what you got to say because, I want to hear what you think. Be sure to like, subscribe, follow, hit that bell. This is Rudy's Rant. We talk facts for feelings. Come on now.